As a physical therapist, I often get asked about acupuncture and will acupuncture help me with my injury? And the answer I always have to provide is no. I can provide no evidence to say one way or the other if acupuncture will be helpful. Now, you need to understand that in physical therapy, we rely on empirical data or evidence to say one thing works or it doesn't. If you have a cardiac problem, we're going to do cardiac rehab. Neuro problem, we do neuro rehab, and so on and so forth, right? There's evidence to prove things work. In acupuncture, it's the pseudoscience world. It's non-quantifiable or non-measurable, and in fact, to date, with all the modern technology of X-ray, MRI, CT scan, there is no way to objectively measure qi flow. Now let's take it back to what the Chinese used to believe in thousands of years ago. And in fact, just because something's been around for thousands of years doesn't necessarily mean that it's right or good. But they used to think in this yin-yang philosophy where there's positive and negative energy, and if they stimulated these energy meridians or channels, they can fix any and all of your body's problems by stimulating the energy pathways with needles. Now, you can see some diagrams on the face here and the tongue, and it becomes problematic in my world because I've treated people with, say, kidney failure, and they showed all the signs and symptoms of visceral pain. They're going to their acupuncturist for years, and they never found the issue. So having a relationship with your primary care doctor to do a simple blood test is sometimes the most easiest answer. But let's back up to what doctors used to think. They used to believe in something called the four humors, and it evolved from the yin-yang philosophy as well. They thought that if you had an infection, you'd have to let out the bad blood or bloodletting. In fact, that's how good old George Washington died. He had a throat infection that let out so much blood that he passed away, and that fell out of favor around the same time child labor laws went into practice. So I think we can all agree that the collective evolution of society and medicine is a good thing. So acupuncturists believe in chakras, and they'll ask you a bunch of series of questions about loneliness or libido, and that'll help them understand where to put the needles. Now, if you want to go put 100 needles in your face to go help with your problem, I don't think it's going to hurt you, but I certainly wouldn't do it. In fact, I've tried it. I've had a lot of different injuries, and unfortunately for me, nothing has worked. But what does the data say? A meta-analysis is studies of studies, and there's been thousands of them. And in fact, in recent years, 2025, this study showed that there is no way to quantify how acupuncture works. In fact, the control, placebo, and sham procedures all were the same effectiveness as everything else. So what we do know is that if you put an acupuncture needle into damaged tissue, it'll help with trigger points as well as cell proliferation of connective tissue. So it comes down to this. Is your practitioner believing in the antiquated Chinese philosophy? If so, I think maybe you should see your doctor. However, if they're just doing it to help with pain alleviation and localized tissue, it can be helpful. I know it's a lot, but reach out if you have any questions. Until next time, aloha.